Shar. What's up, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? Just waiting on my partner to show up. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Kaz sent it to me. I was literally listening to it. Like, shout out to my man, the Kaz. He sent it to me real quick, and I was listening to it. Joy, send the request.
Hey,
Hey!
okay. Cool.
I was, I get scared about live because I don't want to be like the Teddy Riley's and, be.
Oh, no. My younger cousin, she just left. I was like, how I do this? What I need to do? She was like, all right, I got you. So
I know, man. I know, because it can turn into something real bad. You be,
yeah.
What you say? What you say, Cliff?
It's
What I'm
crazy.
saying? Oh, how are you?
I'm good. It's Thursday. I was off before they declared Juneteenth a holiday because I don't play no. So tomorrow I'm in Alabama to see my dad, and we're gonna do Father's Day.
Oh, for what part of Alabama?
He in Fort Mitchell, like in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, I'm in northern. I kick it in northern Alabama sometimes, over there by Tennessee, in the Huntsville area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kick it over there sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, borderline Georgia over here.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
City.
You said what?
Phoenix City.
Phoenix City. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. Shout out to that. What up, everybody? I'm Jay Hall. Shout out to Starting With Today for allowing us to use this platform. Shout out to Miss Charlotte, the founder, creator, and everything of Starting With Today. And it started with me hollering at a couple of other people, but then I got recommended to the good homie Joy, who we had a good convo with. And Joy, if you can just tell everybody who you are and what you do before we get started.
Ooh, okay.
Go ahead, take a deep breath.
My name is Joi Tramuel. I'm a doctoral student at a institution that I don't want to speak of because it's not an HBCU out in Virginia Beach. And I am a two-time graduate of the Norfolk State University.
Okay.
We ain't gonna leave that out. Okay.
Let it rain, baby.
Yes, I'm the founder and executive director of the Society for Hip Hop and Education. And my goal is, once my doctoral studies are complete, I just want to write a hip hop curriculum that can be put into the school system.
Oh, so you can say that you do this.
Oh, yes. Take thorough research for sure.
So this ain't just somebody sitting on their porch, talking about what they feel. You actually, are doing some studies and doing some documentation out there.
I try. I got my little book card in the back. I'm trying.
Okay. Oh, books.
Yeah,
people like to read books now.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't read them through. They've been skimmed, but I opened them. They ain't dusty. So.
I got you. Well, that's up, man. We're gonna get into it. The way this whole situation started off was the day before yesterday. J. Cole had dropped the whole "Snow on the Bluff" song, right? And I happened to be on. I'm gonna tell my experience real quick. I was actually on Twitter Live when it dropped, and so when the song dropped, I'm seeing everybody respond to it, and I'm just seeing J. Cole trending, and of course, I'm doing the Denzel Washington meme. I'm like, don't tell me Cole died. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ, I don't know if I can take any more, but he dropped the song. Now, let me tell you, when I listened to the song, I went listened to the song. The song's called "Snow on the Bluff," and for those that do not know out of context, "Snow on the Bluff" is a. Have you ever saw "Snow on the Bluff"?
Love "Snow on the Bluff."
I just want to make sure. Okay, so "Snow on the Bluff," it used to be on Netflix for a long time.
Right.
It's like a documentary. It's like a Blair Witch in the hood, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I still don't know if it's real or not. I I don't know.
Me too. Me too.
I don't know if it was fake. I don't.
Me either, because all that is totally possible. It's all totally possible.
I really don't know. Okay, so the song's called Snow on the Bluff. I first heard the song, and he spits the long verse and singing. And
Right.
so for me, I'm not necessarily somebody who blows up with any artist, even if you're my favorite artist, who does like the long verse and singing at the end. Because I feel like those are lazy songs. Like I feel like that. Like, don't give me that. And like, especially someone of Cole's caliber, like him, Kendrick, and Drake, like don't do that. Like, don't be giving me no long. Like, at least Drake would give me like 3 songs at once when he does that. So I'm kind of like okay with that, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. And so when I heard it, I was just like, okay, right? I go on Twitter and I see black women are pissed, right? I see black women are pissed, right? They are livid. They are upset, right? So I'm like, yo, let me check my privilege, because obviously there's something that I missed. So let me go back, right? Okay. So I go back. And now I'm going back after I read comments. So now I'm looking for the things that I'm reading that everyone is telling me that they're upset about. Right. He's talking about Tone. He's talking about, Noname, who's a young MC, whatever, da-da-da-da-da. And so I'm looking. I'm like, okay. So I'm listening. I'm like, okay. Da-da-da-da-da. And so I go back and I see what people are saying. I'm seeing people upset. But it also, what I will say to give it more context, people are also hot because a young lady that got hit with a skateboard earlier, like I don't even know if it was on Twitter the same night, but I know the video was out there. So she get hit with a skateboard in Harlem by some trash dude. And then some kids, I think it's in DC or whatever, they dump a girl in the dumpster. And they're all kids. They dump this girl in the dumpster. She's crying.
Black people?
Yeah. Young kids, young black kids. They dumped this young girl in the dumpster, right? So tension was already, not to mention the past few weeks, not to mention the 400, like Charlotte likes to say, the 400 plus years of things that black women have endured. Okay. So I'm not going to say everything else after that. I just want to give, that's how I came to the song. And I'll let you go.
Woo. Well, how I came to saw it. Okay. So it's a few parts to my new perspective. Okay. So last night, it's nighttime. I'm doing my normal nighttime routine. Just finished eating. Let's wind down for the bed. And then I get this title. And I'm like, okay, all right, J. Cole, that's my boy. I love J. Cole. I love perspective rap. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to use that. Perspective rap. All right.
Perspective. What's his POV tonight? What's going on? North Carolina. So I'm listening, and I put the song on repeat. I mean, I listened to it like repeatedly, and I'm like, okay, this is my initial reaction, even as a black woman. I just thought, okay, he is admitting that he don't have a clue about nothing, and we don't need to, just because he has a college degree, that doesn't mean that he's involved or in the know as to what's going on in the socio-political realm. He's saying, take me off this pedestal. I'm not perfect. Like, who do y'all think I am? And I think people have, because him and Kendrick are always on the same level as far as skill, but their content is totally different. Like, K-Dot is up here. We already know with the images and the context and everything he does, he makes a conscious effort to make sure that the images and the symbols that he's putting out there is for us. J. Cole is what we have to remember. I mean, both his parents not black. I mean, it is what it is. In the song, he says basically, I mean, I'm gonna say jealous because people make jealousy and envy synonymous, and it's really like the other way around. So he basically in the song is saying, I'm jealous that I didn't have this upbringing that you all had to be so black because I was only raised by my white mama. And this goes back to black women. We not gonna be teaching Tom, Dick, and Harry about our culture. We don't have time to do that. We're working. We're going to school. We raising kids. I don't have time to raise no grown man, J. Cole. No, they don't have time to be following up with you to make sure you're doing your homework. Don't you follow her? So why you not in the book club? She been had the book club for years. Okay. You have access to her. If you have any questions, you could have asked. Don't you got Obama number? You have these other men that you can contact and consult. That's what I think people are missing. Like, women as Black people as a family unit, this is how we gonna get on one accord.
Okay.
Black women, when we go to the salon or where we congregate Black women, this is where we all get on one accord.
The secret Black cave.
Barbershop, that's when they all get on one accord. And when the Black men and Black women come from those places on that Saturday morning, they come home and they talk about that and they get on one accord and they bring it to their children, the seeds. You got to plant the seeds. That is how we all get on one accord. So with that, when I first heard the song, I really didn't think it was that bad. I was like, oh, J. Cole, he said he don't know. He asking for help. That's so great. But afterwards, I woke up. I saw all the hullabaloo, all the craziness. I'm like, J. Cole, y'all made it go. Oh, no. So I went back in the comments. I'm like, what's up? Because I asked my sorority sisters, you know, they are older women. They have other experiences that I don't have. So they basically was like, everything I just said, Black women, we are tired of raising these men. It's not that, like Michelle Obama said, I forgot what she said. Basically,
she said so many things. She's Michelle
Black
Obama.
Men, you gotta raise. We can't raise Black men. I know Father's Day coming up, and a lot of women like to say, "I'm the father too. I'm the father too." No, you're just extending your role as the mother. It's okay. It's totally fine. You can't. You're not a man. You can't be. It's not Father's Day. They have single parent day. You can double up then, but you can't have Father's Day. So we can teach our sons how to be a man. And J. Cole in the song saying, like, God, I feel like I'm a child. You feel like that because you are. You haven't grown up yet. I need you to grow up, J. Cole. You can't do it. They're right. I'm tired. And I work in the mental health field. I've been tired. Okay.
You extra tired. You was tired 2017. Yes.
And I'm an empath. And let me throw in something for my spiritual people. J. Cole didn't even realize that the Mercury retrograde, the people is not going to receive the communication the same way. Okay.
Lord, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It was right after Tupac's birthday. It was right after Tupac's birthday. Boom, Mercury retrograde. Craziness. Like, what is going on, Cole?
So, Joy, first of all, let me go ahead and say ahead of time, thank you very much for even showing up, because what you just dropped right now, first of all, I got some studying to do, because I'm like, Miracle grade, like, I want to learn all of that. So, you know, I'm going to be bugging you. I'm going to be hitting you up like, what does 735 mean? So, just FYI. So, you said a lot.
A spiritual hip hop page, but I ain't gonna blow that up.
No. It's all gravy, man. I appreciate the mention. So you said a lot. Let me try to take it from the beginning as much, because it's a lot to digest. And let me just say respectfully, I hear all of that. I was like you. When I heard the song, I didn't see no big deal, right? I saw it as, oh, this is Cole being vulnerable again and saying what he don't know. That's how I saw it, right? Then when I read women talking about the tone situation, my first initial thought was, well, actually, let me keep it gutter. When I saw he was talking about Snow in the Bluff, I'm from the 80s crack era. I thought he was talking about a fake woke white woman. That was my initial reaction. Like, I was like, what fake woke white woman out here Cole talking about? Like, that's who I
thought. The one that he said called him out, but he didn't say who it was?
Like, stuff like that goes over my head sometimes, and I have to like listen to stuff repeatedly. Okay. Right. So then when I saw what everybody was saying and women were saying about tone, then I was like, well, man, hip hop has really progressed, because in the 90s we were complaining about rappers talking about, you know, bitches and hoes, and I were complaining about rappers talking about tone. Right.
Okay.
And I've never told a woman about her tone. Maybe it was just in my DNA. I never told somebody like, I don't like your tone. I've told somebody I don't like what you said, you know, to me. Right. But I've never said to a woman or anybody, but definitely not a black woman, I don't like your tone. I've never said that. I was raised around women. I was the only boy. And maybe they beat it out of me. I don't know. Maybe I said it once when I was 9 and they deprogrammed me, right? Like
it's possible. It's possible.
Maybe it was like a get out situation. They was like, what you say? You know what I'm saying? And every time I got it wrong, I got hit with a broomstick, you know, out of love, right? Because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Black women. That's what it is. And even when I saw that, I had to humble myself, which a word I don't like using a lot, but I had to humble myself and be quiet. Because what I saw was women who thought like you, I let them speak. I didn't want to go on no Twitter rant and say, well, I don't think that's what he's saying, da-da-da. I want to let the women who felt that way too. There's a lot of women, respectable women, I'm not going to call them by name, but a lot of respectable women, scholar women, who had your perspective, and they still stand by that, right? Like, they're going on Twitter right now as we speak, and they're like, no, that's not what he's saying, da-da-da-da-da-da. And because I understood, like, me as a man, me coming out there and doing that, it was never going to hit like the way it can hit with those respectable women. I at least wanted to give it time. You know what I mean? Like, I at least wanted to give it time. I do feel like, allow me to say respectfully, when you say you tired of raising men, you know, that's a real statement. But like me and me and some men talk in circles or whatever, I will say this too. Half of the ignorance that you are experiencing when you see men talking like J. Cole is because they're only going to men who are talking like that. And if you don't have a woman in a room or at least having some sort of conversation, they're going to continue to get that same ignorance.
Right. Locker room talk.
Right. They're going to continue to get that. And you're correct. You know, we go to our barbershops and we go to our beauty salons. But let's be 100. All of that knowledge ain't good. You understand? And if you're Cole, and you might be the sharpest person in your circle,
right?
Where is he technically going? Now, I can understand you saying, yo, you don't need to be spoon-fed. You do need to, number one, if you're going to ask somebody for help, you don't tell them how to teach you. Like, I'm not going to come to your classroom and tell you how to give me a final exam. Right. And I'm not going to be upset that if you personally, as in Joi, tell me, yo, Jay, I can't teach you this, and you send me somewhere else. It's like they do in the movies when the karate master say, listen, you need to go to the mountains. I'm not about to teach you this. You need to go to the mountain. Then we need to go to the mountain. So Black women send us to another Black woman or send us somewhere else. We need to do that. But we can't just say to somebody if they're, and this is the problem that a lot of men struggle with, when they do show vulnerability. And I'm telling you from perspective how they seeing it. When they do show vulnerability, like if y'all tearing down J. Cole, then I'm definitely going to keep up my heart exterior. like if y'all telling J. Cole, if y'all going at him, then I'm definitely not going to let go of my hard exterior because they tore that brother apart. I'm going to go ahead and bump Jeezy and keep this shit 100 over here. That's what I'm going to do.
Please, you know don't right now. I'm so mad. But anyway.
And let me just say on the other note, like, for those that were questioning about whether or not the NBA should come back, the fact that we got distracted by J. Cole songs should show you that we probably ain't ready for sports right now.
No, we're not.
Let's just say that.
What we wanted to be anyway. What is basketball without home advantage? What is tennis home field? Stupid. It's dumb. No crowd. I know it would be weird for them with nothing in the background. Anyway.
So, like, I guess my question that I would ask, I mean, to you or to anyone, what is the best compromise decision when it comes to, like, if someone is really laying themselves down? Because whether you want to be that or not, you are a teacher in a sense. And I relate it, it's parallel because it's like, you know, as a Black person, I don't want to be giving lessons to white people about what they should do. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't, right? I don't want to be giving, wall-to-wall lessons. But also, too, I do got to understand, like, yo, if they're being honest and they're coming with the exterior down, they can't keep coming back to where they came from because that's how they got to this point right here. So where is the compromise that you would suggest or anybody would suggest to having that understanding and understanding, like, yo, this is not the direction to go. You can't behave like that. This is toxic. Where are they supposed to get it? Because they go back to the men that they already came from. They're going to get the same thing. So where should they go? What is the suggestion? You going to tell them to read books written by men? Like, what's the suggestion? You might say call Obama, but what if Obama like, hey, I don't know, I go to Michelle. Like, what if he says that? Like, so what would you suggest in that situation?
Okay, it's a few things. One, No, for the white people part, I ain't teaching them nothing. I could care less. I could not.
Oh no, I ain't teaching them shit. I ain't teaching that. No, I'll just give an example. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. This is our conversation.
Right. It's our job to educate each other as a whole. Okay. But the thing is, J. Cole, you follow No Name. Did you ever follow up on any of the stuff that you saw her post?
Okay.
Like you say you read, but you ain't that well versed. So what are you reading? What's on your book list? I don't understand. Charlamagne said books. I don't even agree with him. You too many excuses, and that's what Black women are tired of. The second is what a lot of people don't know. I'm gonna go back to the spiritual. We are basically in what is happening is like divine, well, masculine and feminine are balancing out. Women are we are going back to our matriarch nurture position, and we are making the men stand up. And that's what you're seeing now. We tied over here raising the kids while you out here, you processing. We always got your back. Breonna Taylor got lost in the sauce because George Floyd became the guy. So that's who we right. I mean, it's like then you have what's the sister name? The trans she won't trans. What's the black girl name? The 19-year-old.
Talking about recently, like this week that we lost, right?
Salud, yes. Black Lives Matter activist found dead. No, not at 19. Like, are we gonna get on the No Name response? Because I mean, what we do? When we gonna get?
Oh no, I'm getting to that. I'm letting you. I really respectfully think that this part is really important because a lot of men don't know. You know what I mean? Like I've had dudes come to me and they're like, "All right, well, if we can't talk to the Black women and say, what am I doing wrong? Where can we go?" Like, I mean, that's a real
people. I know what y'all doing wrong. That's what I don't understand. Black and like, oblivious. You're not oblivious. You've been treating women bad for years. Black women like shit for years. Serena going to marry a white man because Black men told her she was disgusting, dark skinned, big, but you over here watering over fake Kim Kardashian ass. Get out of here. You are so in love with the idea of a Black woman, but you don't want to be with a Black woman because you're mad at your mama because she didn't stay with your daddy. What is going on? Sorry.
So what about the layers that are more like when you say something like tone, right? Like if you say like, and I'm with you. If you're telling me no, because I'm with you. If you showing me an image of a man beating on a woman, I know that that's wrong. I don't need another Black woman to tell me that that's wrong. Like when I saw that when I was a kid, I didn't need nobody to tell me that was wrong. You're absolutely correct about that. But what about those layers that are so commonly said? Because tone is something that's very common. That is something that can be. It seems harmless to the average gentleman. They don't see that. I know women who talk like that. So what do you say to them as far as like where can they go and get the knowledge from? That's what I'm talking about.
So this tone, these microaggressions that we're seeing, people, you have to. I mean, first off, so J. Cole, when he said the part about her tone, I was taken aback, but I didn't see it as a big deal because the way I was raised, like. Some women was raised out here to coddle a man. That's why they think what he said is okay. Oh, he didn't mean it like that because you're making excuses. You cannot keep making excuses for Black men. You have to empower them. We have to empower you all to make sure that you all feel comfortable being vulnerable with us. We got to be vulnerable with each other. Like, it's so much trauma. It is going to be generations. So this is why you have to have these conversations. I was just telling my cousin. I told her it's our aunt's fault that we got to vote for Joe Biden. It's their fault. The Bible Belt women are the reason the Black women in the Bible Belt are the reason we have to vote for Joe Biden. They didn't want Kamala, somebody that looked like you. You didn't want Elizabeth Warren. She would have saved my life with the student loans. I can't even tell you about the $20 billion.
That's a whole nother podcast we need to do.
But
we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Right, exactly. We have to we got to have these conversations. We have to nurture each other. We have to make the other one feel like they can be vulnerable amongst each other so that we can get what we need. Because all of these Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben and all this little symbolism mess. Give me some policy that is going to make a difference. Yeah. Like, I can't. Sorry,
no, it's fine. I think you make a valid point that we do have to do some work. And what I get from it, you know, from a very dear friend, a couple of friends of mine, is what I do. I at least got to do about 95% of the work. So even when I do go to, like, you know, I go to Charlotte, or I go to, you know, Black Women in My Life, I've already done a lot of work before I get to a ceiling and I'm like, hey, there's this last little inch I don't know. You know what I mean? And I even tell them in that sense, like, hey, I've done this amount of work, right? I'm currently stuck. But I don't come to them fully like, hey, I need you to do this whole term paper for me. Because I can understand from hearing the voices of a lot of women in my circle and women online, you know, tired 2020, like somebody just put up there, you know, tired 2020. Like, Black women are tired of always having to carry, getting no credit from that and totally being disrespected. You know what I mean? I was only pointing out those things that appear to be harmless that people use in everyday language, but you just explained that, you know, beautifully. And I think it's also important to point out, because context matter, that Cole's situation, he was responding to noname because she had allegedly accused him or just woke rappers in general that she felt wasn't saying anything. And I remember that was a narrative that was going around for like 4 weeks until Kendrick and Cole actually showed up at the protest. And I think there's something to be said about accountability as fans, because when Cole is talking about he's not that smart, he's not a leader, and this is the person or whatever the case may be, I think that's also a lesson to fans that, yo, your artist is not your messiah. Like, they're not. Like, everybody's not Tupac. Everybody's not going to be giving you this roundaway, yo, they can spit on the mic, and they can talk about political issues, and they can do about this, and they can do that. Everybody's not going. Some artists are like artists, and they're here to, like, be a witness. Like, when you watch the James Baldwin, I Am Not Your Negro, like, he confesses he wasn't organizing marches. He wasn't doing at rallies. He accepted the fact that his role was as a witness. And that's what an artist is, in a sense. And we as fans got to have a certain amount of accountability also, too. We can't be thinking like, just because they're rapping about this, that means they're about to come and swoop up the world. Like, I don't want J. Cole in the White House. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I want. I don't want Kendrick in the White House. Kendrick's my man, but I don't want him making policy. I want what you said, Kamala Harris. I want somebody who's actually qualified for these things, in this sense. And I think that as fans, we got to hold ourselves. We got to start checking ourselves also, too, because they are human. In that sense, they're not our messiahs. They're not here to save us. They're here to give us music in that sense. Anything extra that they give us is a plus.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's a cop-out. Just because you're famous and I ain't the man, well, guess what? You in a position, you need to become the man a little bit. James Baldwin had been out there protesting and organizing marches, but he was writing from the perspective of the protesters. J. Cole, just like noname said, you could have rapped about anything, but you talk about me. Like, you could have rapped about George Floyd, you could have rapped about Breonna Taylor, you could have rapped about anything. You could have it's so many names every day that don't get reported that you could have rapped about.
And thank you for that great segue, because that's what we about to hop into, because right before me and you got on, shout out to my man Nakaz, he sent us the song that noname responded. It's called Song 33. And she said a lot in those bars. Did you get a chance to hear it?
Yeah.
What did
I didn't hear the screenshot of the lyrics, and I just read them, and I love it.
What stood out? What stood out to you?
I saw a demon on my shoulder. It's looking like patriarchy. Oh!
Yeah,
I said, come on. Okay, mess with it. Mess with it.
I like and I do think she raised a good point. And listen, I think everybody is, and I'm not even taking a cop out on this. I really do think that everybody's justified in their actions. I think that Cole is entitled to say how he felt and be vulnerable, because that's an artist's job. But you also are going to get the whiplash of that, the repercussion of that, and you have to deal with that. Like, I'm not going to come to your defense on that, right? That's the thing what an artist do. When you're a voice, you have to come out there and you have to say that. Like, we all heard in school about how Dorothy Dandridge was nominated for the role of Carmen. And at that time, there were a lot of Black people who was rooting for her and like that. You know what person who hated that movie? Was James Baldwin. And he had to stand on that throne because he thought that movie was the worst movie ever, right? And he wasn't a Sidney Poitier fan. But you got to stand on that. Like Cole you got to stand on that. I'm not about to come to your defense on that. I'm not. Because if you want to be really 100, Cole has said a lot worse. So his track record doesn't help with the tone.
But
It
that means
doesn't.
the people that listening though, they're not even
Yeah.
listening. Not
Yeah.
listening. And
His track record, it doesn't. Like,
all his albums store bought. I must not be listening.
he has, here's the thing. He has a lot of, it's kind of like the way he did with the tone thing. He kind of got some bars here and there that you can definitely place on the patriarchy list, on the misogyny list. You know what I mean? He got to, and I don't, for me, I always looked at it like he's evolved so much. I'm always kind of like, okay, when you gonna let that part go? Like, I'm not checking for Future to do it. You understand what I'm saying? But we definitely should hold all rappers accountable for that, because you'll have Future who'll say 3 bad chicks in the pool, but Cole would say Tone, and we own him, but we not on Future, and we should all keep holding him to task in that matter. And he has a track record of black women. Like, for example, a couple years ago, Dreamville had an album release party. Last year, they had an album release party, and apparently, I wasn't there, but there was no women of media there. It was all men. And there were people complaining about that online, like, yo, y'all got this history that y'all need to get it together. You know what I'm saying? And this was in 2019, they were being accused of that. So it doesn't help that he got the track record that he has, but he has to be accountable for that. But I'm with you. I do feel like vulnerability itself does not need to be shamed. It needs to be a place where, cool, you're going to be vulnerable, but that don't mean you about to have somebody come and hug you and serve you pancakes.
Yeah, but you can be vulnerable, but you need to take your ego out of it. If he wouldn't have said, I didn't like her tone, or I didn't appreciate her tone, that's the problem. Ego and pride prevents the accomplishment of much that might otherwise be done. J. Cole needs to get it together. Everybody needs to remove ego. That's the only way to evolve. Like, when people tell you you're wrong, it's not that you're wrong, but you can absorb their perspective and be like, you know what? I'm going to mix that in with the point of view I already have. I'm going to integrate that, and I'm going to have a totally new perspective. It's not, if you got 26 letters in the alphabet, it's a million perspectives. Choose one. It's crazy.
You're right. And I think you make up I think that goes back to what you were saying also too, is like, you can't come in telling somebody how to teach you. Maybe if you would have let go of your ego, maybe if you wouldn't have said certain things that were so prideful, maybe real vulnerability would have been you taking those shackles down and just saying, hey, I don't know, please teach me, and leaving it at that, like period, not a comma, right? Maybe we all would have heard you better, right? Maybe there still would have been a critique, right? There still would have been a critique, but we'd have been like, yo, he's really reaching for something, right? But you didn't. You judged her in the middle of saying what you're saying. And listen, the smartest thing I ever tell people that you can say is, I don't know, right? So I didn't know. So I had to sit back, listen, you understand, let it digest in my head for a second and understand what direction this was, and to say like, okay, cool, I get it, because yeah, you were vulnerable. It's almost like, my sister likes to say this all the time. One time my sister, and she's going to hate that I tell this story, but she had this guy who was like, I really, really like you. I think you're the greatest woman I've ever dated. You know, when I take you out, I'm going to take you to the best restaurant. My sister's like, oh, okay, that's what's up. They go to a restaurant, he takes her to Fridays. When she asked him, like, I thought you said you were going to take me to, he had only took women to like McDonald's. He had never even got out the car. He only took them to
so he was old.
So his standard was like, that was a big deal for him. And it wasn't, right? So for Cole, he might have thought like, he was in the room, he might have thought like, yeah, this is really me being vulnerable. You know, this is really me reaching the depths of my soul. And then you find out, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that ain't what it is. And that's okay, because that's what art is.
That's what he need to do. Pass the blunt to Jid. That's all he need to do. He need to give it up. This is, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you on that. Where do you think, just on some hip-hop-ish, where do you think No Name goes from this?
Oh, her platform is way huge now. Heck yeah. Bigger than it was, and I'm glad it is. She deserves it.
Yeah.
My cousin put me onto her like years ago. He was like, hey, it's a female rapper named No Name. I think you would like her. I think this one's maybe like around song 26 or something like that. So yeah, I love her. I ain't a part of the book club, but I love her. I love everything she does. I love her everything. I love it all. I love her vibe.
That's what's up, man. I do too, man, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't familiar like that, you know, besides just seeing her name across or whatever, you know, because I'm involved in a lot of music, and sometimes I tell people I will get to it and I don't. But it made me listen to her more. You know, it made me go down the rabbit hole to saw her records.
Because she's dark skinned. You can only know about the light. We ain't gonna talk about colorism in music. Rhapsody, she's great. Where's she at?
Oh,
No
she's one of
name.
my favorites.
I mean, you got plenty of dark skinned female rappers that's out here. I got a local rapper, TZ So Dope, dark skin. I mean, what's happening, people? What's happening? You think Cardi B or the strippers is the only? I mean, we got Cash Doll, but
Right. She from my hometown though too.
Shout out to Cash. Shout out to Cash. I mean, we ain't got many. We don't have many. We don't have many.
That's real. And I like to thank you just because like you giving me a lot to think about and you giving me a lot to take back. Because I'm all about because I'm I'm all about trying to do the work, as you know what I mean, and you know, and trying to be better. And I'm a person I'm not perfect at all. Like I stumble all the time when it comes to that. But I really wanted to hear that part about being tired, because I go by like a lot, you know, I was just on the side note, like I work with kids, I was a counselor in the school, whatever. So I'll be looking at it from an educational point sometimes. Like everybody don't learn like that, you know what I mean? So I sometimes I detach myself from the emotional part, and I'm just looking at where everybody learns differently, you know what I mean? But I'm not, and it's because of my privilege, I'm not taking into consideration the emotional baggage and the trauma and the things that Black women have had to carry for a certain amount of time. Because I'm just looking at the logic part, like, well, how are they supposed to learn? But I'm starting to receive that now, and I want to sit more on that and listen more to that. And I hope everybody that was listening to this, I hope that they'll be able to hear that too, that there are some men who are trying to make some effort to that, but they see things like that and they're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
gotta meet halfway.
Yeah. And I challenge any dude and every woman to have a conversation. That's why, you know, I'm glad that, shout out to the Cause, he turned me on to you, because me and him both said this last night. We didn't feel like we would get much out of two guys talking about this. Like we just didn't. Like, I'm sorry. You know. All right.
Y'all right. But see, y'all go to a good barbershop, so y'all knew that two men speaking on Black women issue walked the move.
It's just no. We can talk about like me and him, you know, we can talk about like the situation as it is, but talking about far as the betterment, we was like, yo, we need like a sister, you know what I'm saying? So thank you very much for you coming in the clutch for that, and being not only just present, but being efficient.
Oh, I'm trying, man. I made sure we was live, made sure we was good. Yeah.
So just real quick, tell everybody where they can get from you and whatever, and what's your social media and everything.
We got social media. We are at #1 Hip Hop Society on every single platform: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. We are on Pinterest and Facebook at #1 Hip Hop Society. We got the podcast She Speaks, Society Hip Hop Education She Speaks. Is a platform for Black women to talk about hip hop and other political, social issues, education. What else I got? I got a book that I am supposed to be working on that I have not started yet, but it's coming soon. So thanks, people.
Let me say this out loud. You have a friend in me. Please feel free to holler at me anytime, and trust me, you can holler. You talk to my friends, they'll tell you I'm up all times of night. You got a question, you got a resource, you know, please, if I don't have the answer, I'll point to that answer. You know what I mean? And I definitely appreciate knowing you, because in this conversation right now, I can already tell I've gotten so much, you know what I mean, from you already. And I want more. I want more.
Yeah.
You dope. Yeah, you dope, sister. You dope. And we need to find a way where you and we can communicate this again. I really do appreciate it. So we need to put your platform more on notice also too. So if any way that we can help you, please reach out to me. And I know Charlotte, the boss lady, who we appreciate her allowing us to use this platform. Miss Charlotte Anderson, the founder and director of Starting With Today. Please make sure you go to Starting With Today's website and check out all the resources that they have that you can be a part of. We appreciate everybody on that. My name is Jay Hall. You can also follow me at all platforms at Jay Hall Radio. I'm not about to list my resume. I love everybody. Joy, I'll text you on the side. I love you.
All right. Love you, brother.
Shout out to everybody that participated. We appreciate you. One love.
Yeah.